We're live. We're talking Lorwyn. Lorwyn equips. Lorwyn eclipsed. That was bad. Lorwyn eclipsed spoilers. I gotta put my Lorwyn eclipsed spoilers hat on. There it is. I got the perfect hat for this. All right. I don't need headphones. I'm not listening to anything. I don't hear myself. So what do I need these for? I redid my room, but oh, here you go. All right. I found out my Boston baseball team that owns the organization that owns the Boston Red Sox, Fenway Sports Group. They also own the Pittsburgh Penguins. So I'm gonna wear this penguin hat, but they sold the Pittsburgh Penguins. I'm gonna wear this penguin hat to pay homage. And it's kind of like you can't really see it. Like eyes are here. You can like see the penguinness, but like covers up my eyes. What's that mean for? This is supposed to be a kid's hat and loose on me. Anyway, is this thing on? Oh, weird. Let me connect my encoder. This hat just like a weird like nipple on my head. What do you guys think of the penguin hat? Might not work. Worked out better in my mind. There we go. What do we think? Get some more people in here. We'll start talking about Lorwyn. I got one viewer. Hello, viewer. The vertical feed is dumb. It doesn't like the YouTube has an automatic thing where you could do dual stream. It generates a vertical cropped version for the shorts feed. And this just looks bad. Holy smokes. Try that. Like, horrible. Ain't moving yet? So, how's this look? I got this big black splotch in the middle of the canvas. Gotta move this over. What's this? Attempt to up the production value here. Oh, Apple. This will have to do. Hit the like. There you go. Hang on, hang on. We know what we're doing. We know what we're doing. We got this. That look banging. I like that. There we go. All right. Everybody's happy. Except me. I have nobody in the chat. Want to talk Lorwyn? I'll talk about it when there's people here. Seem to be any people here. Play some shitty arena in the meantime. All right. The penguin hat is annoying me. I'm not doing it. Not doing it. Took off the Jaguars hat. Just fucking heartbroken over the Jaguar. My football team makes me sad. Let's see. Hey, we got people yet? Anybody? Anybody? When I get some more people in the chat, I'll start looking at Lorwyn cards. Start our Lorwyn Eclipsed review. I'm going to review the white cards from Lorwyn Eclipsed. We're going to keep it white. Not in that way. Don't get upset. I discovered something silly today. I was wondering why I wasn't getting text messages from a certain person that I hear from a lot. And I had the little, like, I noticed on my phone, I tried every setting. I'm looking at something. Next to the username is a little icon of a bell with a line through it. I'm like, why? And that's why I don't see alerts from this person. Alright. I don't know why. I'm stuck on this standard deck I made that isn't very good. Keep running it. Instead of taking the time to upgrade it, I just get mad when it loses. Well, I guess when I lose with it. I don't know. You lose an arena, it's not you. Arena's compromised. I'm gonna try not to say the R word. Box. Fake names. Oh, this is terrible. This card is not good. Plasma Bolt, non-land permanent, left the battlefield this turn. Nothing is gonna leave the battlefield. I'm gonna gain some life, and that's it right now. Get this avatar. Never one of my long counters. Put on a creature you control. Draw that many cards. There's only one siege turn. Okay, let's shoot him for one. Counters build. Let's get in and poke him again. This is an arena stream right now because I don't have enough people here to do the Lorwyn review. Poked him. Here to watch me poke a dude in the right place. Hard. Okay, great. Just die. Take that. Kill your little tree. It's gonna. Yeah, get your forest back. Play my bird. I'm gonna play my fabled passive. Attack for 2. What a dumb way to beat my opponent down with this fucking thing. Alright. Fabled passage blueprint. Okay. Don't like this. This guy's getting beat up by this junk. Green spells, one last to cast. Earth Crystal. I should put this in my what's it called build. Ooh, we like that. Let's play that. Whenever a creature you control is our spell, when opponent controls, but one counter target creature other than that creature. Ooh, that's not bad. Okay. That. Yo. Send the dudes. Wow. We're blocking? What do you got planned? He can't board wipe. He's running mono green. Mono green. But to say green can be such a pushover color. Oh. Oh, great. 4/4. Okay, 3/5, 4/5. Dude is still bigger, but I'm wrong on target. Okay, great. Damn it. Never mind. Really? All I've got is life gain. Ooh, we're gonna be okay. Thanks, Kirby. 4. Activate ability. Maybe my Ice Tail Explorer will hurt this guy. A lot. No attacks. I ain't scared. It's gonna be a lot of damage next turn. Bad for me. Oh, that was a good idea. Yep, they don't playtest anymore. Big swing out. Yeah, you're. I'm at 27 life. Didn't even get touched yet, and I had to throw in the towel. Hey everyone. When I get more people, I'll start talking Lorwyn. Get some people in the chat. I get all this engagement with my magic shorts. And when I do magic content, nobody shows up. I want to start... I have a reason to do magic content. Like live streams and things. Hello, Bob. Well, Bob's here. I'm going to get started pretty soon. We're going to keep it white, Bob. Just wanna... I just like my landfall deck here because it has this Final Fantasy XI art in it. Oh look, something that's not prowess or shitbag mono green. Okay. The last game, if I had a way of getting more of my lands out quicker, I could have survived. No, actually, my magic streams where I play Arena do pretty well. Like for a standard live stream with like a standard non-vertical live stream over 100 views is actually pretty good for me. I like that. Alright, we're gonna play our dude. I'm gonna play that. Our dude again. Yeah, I guess Arena live stream could be not great. Like the game of Magic itself can be... It's like a big time channel. Like someone like CGB. Magic is hard to make people care long enough. Paper Magic is bad content. Like Paper Magic on stream, it doesn't work. It's not meant for that medium.
The housewarming party has arrived.
Sun counter on it. Okay.
You're not going anywhere.
Okay. Wonderful. Guess what? I got a fever. My prescription is more cactar. Oh, wait. You got with ninjas you control, get +1/1. How many ninjas were in Duskborn? Why does he buff ninjas? You know what we need? A planeswalker that is a ninja lord at the same time. That's what we need. Guy's got a plan of some sort. There's one of our lowest before ninja. I'm not worried, even though I'm at 8 life. Oh, I love that. Oh man, this guy's in trouble. Okay. Oh no, he has counter magic, doesn't he? Okay. Get that out. And just tap target opponent controls the stun counter on it. Okay, great. A little too late, buddy. Should have done that earlier, buddy boy. How many times can I do this? Passage. Fatal passage again. This is 128, 128. How did I do that? How did I make this card that big? Oh, that would have been fun. This bushwhack with 256 power. Oh, fuck. I should have done this. I misplayed that, Bob. Bob, I misplayed. He's probably not going to block. No attacks. I think I'll be alright. I might be okay. How did this stack up so bad? Oh, double the number of 1/1 counters? Is that right? 4, 5, 6, 7. I should have had this out. I wouldn't be this close right now. Stupid part is I'm gonna need that cactar. I'll chance. I deserve to lose. I fucked up. Oh boy, can you do 1 damage to me? Like, can this guy do anything? Can he play the land that deals damage? Okay, fun.
Sit down. Rethink your life.
That's it. That's all you got? Oh, yeah, this guy's fucking finished. Okay, there you go. Is this when he uses his counter spell? Okay. I love how this dude's like not even worried. I do it again. Oh wait, activate ability. Running out of basics. I have some left. There you go, 3 left. Okay. Bob, do you see the power on this thing? Oh my god, I got a screenshot of this. Oh, that's amazing. I gotta save the screenshot as amazing. No? Amount of options. 4 damage instead. Gain 5. I can't play any more lands. Bang. Can he counter it? Gotta have counter magic, right? That's it? That's how you lose? Understand how this thing's got that big. That is the state of Magic the Gathering standard in 2026. Look at this. Whenever a land you control enters, double the number of... Oh. Yeah, the Traveling Chocobo would make sense. This, whenever a land you control enters, double the number of... I've never cheesed Arena that bad before. I wasn't even paying attention. I should have fling cards in this deck. This is a Yu-Gi-Oh game. Look at this. Turn Magic into Yu-Gi-Oh. That's too funny. Oh boy. I just shared a screenshot of that on Discord and it gave me both my monitors. I gotta make sure I don't have any private info. Alright, we're gonna get going. Why does Scryfall say hot garbage? Alright. Let's do the thing I promised I would do. Leave match. Oh, excuse me, I gotta stop belching on stream. Count the counters. What is that a cheat? Oh, that was ridiculous. Sad part is I had creatures that big and I almost didn't even win. Can't take these cards seriously. Alright. Let's do our smash or pass, everybody. Alright. Who's here? Raise your hand if you're here in the chat. I need to know I got people. Concurrent viewers 7. Let's just get started. Alright, so doing a set review of Lorwyn. I'm gonna start with white. I'm gonna keep it white. Anyway, I just picked the white cards. Just start there. I just like clicked on Lorwyn, and like, the first thing that popped up was the white cards. So, all right, let's just every night up until I guess pre-release, try to get through all the cards, and we'll fun talk about it. First one here, Adept Water Shaper. Other tapped creatures you control have indestructible. Remember the first Lorwyn Morningtide block, the white merfolk. I think that was the first time we ever had white merfolk. The white merfolk cared about tapping other merfolk for abilities. So this will go well in an old school merfolk deck called Merfolk Fish deck. Other tapped creatures you control have indestructible. Not a lot of utility there. It's good for against board wipes. You swing out with all your fish. They're all tapped. They're all indestructible. No Day of Judgment. There's that white destroy all everything card from Duskmourn. This gets around that. I don't know how good this will be in something like Draft or Constructed. Got a 3/4 body. It's it's got a butt for a 3-mana card. It fits into your Merfolk tribal decks. Cleric really like a tribe they worry about in Lorwyn? I don't think so. No, I know there's cleric cards, but yeah, you do need a tapping outlet. I can't think of what standard like tap a creature, stun counters on your own stuff. There's abilities like that. Currently market price on this going for $4.63. Do not buy anything at pre-release prices, people. Those prices are always trash. Tapping outlet instant speed. What? Yeah, but what does that in standard though? I don't know enough. I'm trying to get refamiliarized. I'm going to familiarize myself once again with Magic the Gathering. This year, I'm going to lean more back into my channel's original mission statement was Magic. I want to get back to that. But what do we think here, Bob? What do you think? Maybe we'll see some other fish this can talk to later on. Keep it going. Color. Rarity. Okay, yeah, the commons are here. All right. All right, we're going to move on. Johnny. He's back. Our big cat boy is back. How good do we think this cat boy is? Can you guys still see screen? Make sure I'm still visible. I had to flip over to the studio. Give me 1 second. Wow, the not synced up. I try not to think. Okay. Yeah, same here. Thinking's hard. Okay, let's get back at it. I'll hit the like button. I can't do this without your help. I see 4 likes. Let's have a party. Let's all chat it up. Even if you're not a Magic player, what do you think of these cards? What do you think of the art? Well, if you want to ask questions about Magic, feel free. Bob is a white trash skank. That is correct. But Bob is very experienced at Magic. As well am I. So any questions about Magic, please put it in the chat to non-Magic players. I just turned Magic into a game of Yu-Gi-Oh! In case anybody was watching that arena match. All right, so we got our first Planeswalker of that we're going to be reviewing tonight. Johnny Outland Chaperone. I guess he's a chaperone because he's taking them all to the 8th grade dance where the girls stand here and the boys stand there and just look at each other. I think he's the chaperone because he's looking after. So I guess the story is kids from the Strixhaven school, the not Harry Potter school. They're able to traverse the multiverse now because of the Omen Path. So I guess they found their way into Lorwyn, and I guess the Johnny's their chaperone. So 3 mana, 3 base loyalty. He's bad. He's mid, bad for mythic. They're not going to do planeswalkers at just uncommon or just rarity though. Outside of sets like War and the Spark, where it was all about planeswalkers, I don't think we're going to see that again. At least not for a long time. So his +1. I think this is strange. He creates a 1/1 green and white Kithkin creature token. Now I get the Kithkin thing. It's one of the tribes of Lorwyn. Hey, Addy, what's going on? We're talking cards, the white cards from the new Magic the Gathering set that's coming out. It's being pre-released this week, and then actual release is later this month. Yes, sir. Drop those channel emotes. So he creates a dude, a 1/1 green and white creature. -2 deals 4 damage to a tapped creature. I'm already disliking this card. It's a good thing it's only 3 mana, because this would be bad. That's like a standard ability with white. White deals damage to tapped stuff, and this is doing that. So his -8 is look at the top X of your library, where X is your life total, which is weird. He doesn't do anything to help your life total. You may put any number of non-land permanent cards, mana value 3 or less, from among them onto the battlefield. Holy shit. Yeah, spam those emotes. Love it. Those Final Fantasy 11 emotes on this. I'm not even sure what the hell my channel is anymore. Just kind of your friendly neighborhood, helpful life advice guy that plays video games and Magic. I'll be whatever you need me to be. Like Batman. Whatever Gotham needs. So what do we think of this -8? I like it. You could dump out stuff. You dump your libraries and take a dump, and all your little dudes that take a dump, come on out. And yeah, so you got a lot. You can bring out top X cards of your library. X is your life total. So find a way to ramp them up pretty quickly, even if you're at like 10 life. If you're in any double digits of life, this is going to be awesome. The -2 could be exile from a mythic. Like maybe on the exile, I don't see him creating changelings. The changelings are too. The changelings are kind of like the rogue element in Morning and Lorwyn. Like a worse Coco. Yeah, Coco's 4 mana. I forget that thing is an instant all the time. That thing should not have been an instant. Coco was a cracked card. Coco is a card called Collected Company. So what do we think of this? Addy, what do you think of this card? Do you like the art? His character, he's a big, like, he's like a badass version of the Cowardly Lion from Wizard of Oz. He carries around a double-sided axe. A dual-bladed axe, I guess you could. And he does healing magic. I guess he's healing this elf. We're not really sure. I don't know what's going on with the background behind him. His wrist looks weird the way he's holding this. I do wonder if there's some partial AI generation being used in the art. No silly question. There's no silly questions here. But are these cards like Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh, or is it really something else on its own? So Magic is the first trading card game of its kind. It's creatures that fight each other, and you cast spells that do certain things. So Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh wouldn't exist without Magic. They're all similar. They all kind of have the same structure, like concept: creatures, monsters, spells that do stuff. You send your cards to the graveyard or discard pile. Love the art in the first place. So I was drawn to them and just learning how to play. Cool. Yeah, man. Look it up. There's go to the Wizards of the Coast makes Magic the Gathering. You can use their store locator function on their website. Or if you go on Google, go on your search engine, just put Wizards of the Coast store locator, MTG, and it'll tell you when they have Magic events. I recommend downloading Arena, a Magic the Gathering Arena. You can down Magic Arena will teach you the fundamentals of Magic. It's a good way to. I think Arena's it has its problems the way it's programmed, but it's a good tool to help teach people the game, the basics. Yeah, what Bob is saying. MTG is the original collectible card game. Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Tried to copy Magic. Yeah. All right, we're gonna move on. So our 3 mana. Can you play it on your phone? You can play Arena on your phone. I don't know how good it runs. Bob, you play Arena on the phone? Do you know how good it is? Anybody play Arena mobile? I don't try it. It'll probably eat up too much of my phone space. My phone storage space is absorbed by my pictures of my daughter, pictures and videos. Um, so I don't play it on mobile. Uh, Trying to get the people that my shorts views. I've gotten 40,000 views on one of my Magic shorts, and trying to get all those people to come to my live streams. It's such a pain in the ass. Nobody listens to me. Okay. Enough of the pity. You guys aren't here for that. What do we think of the art? No, you can't really see. No, I don't want to do that. I'm gonna stick to just the basic arts, the standard art treatments. Yeah, if you're on a PC, you can just download Arena to your PC. I recommend PC. Mobile's gonna kill your phone storage space. And Arena can be a real piece of junk sometimes, the way it gets all laggy and glitchy. You don't want to break your phone over that. All right, so we've got Appeal to Eridu. It has Convoke. So Convoke your dudes and help pay for it. Tap while the spell pays for 1 mana of that color. So with your white creatures can reduce the cost of this. Yes, Magic the Gathering Arena. That is correct, Addy. 1 or 2 target creatures each get +2/+1 until end of turn. It's a good trap card. So if somebody's, I think this is a constructed card, draft or sealed. That's about it. This is not a good card. No one's going to use this in standard play, like standard what constructed. Yeah, it's constructed. We bring your own deck. So sealed and draft, or limited and draft. What do you want to call it? I'll call it limited and draft. Limited and draft. Standard constructed. We bring your own deck. This will not make the cut. This will not. This is a pass. This is chaff. This is trash in terms of standard viability, but it's a good draft and constructed card. So if you want to trick your opponents, they come at you, tap your stuff down, buff it up. 1 or 2 target creatures. So it gives, tap down your white dudes. So for 1 mana, you can give 2 creatures +2/+1. So this Convoke over here can do well with this Adept Water Shaper. You want a convoke ability for a card like this. You could block, tap the block, tap those, convoke it into play. They become indestructible, and you can potentially kill your opponent's creature. So pretty good in that sense. What do we think here of the Appeal to Eridu? 4 mana instant with Convoke. So Bark of Doran. I like the flavor of this one. It's a callback to Doran the Siege Tower. Equipped creature gets +0/+1. As long as equipped creature's toughness is greater than its power, it assigns damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. So in Magic, in the bottom right-hand corner of creatures, like this one here, it's a 3/2, 3 power, it can deal 3 damage and take 2 damage. So this card cares about equipped creature, if their toughness, how much damage they can take, is greater than the damage they can deal. It deals combat damage equal to its toughness rather than its power. So if you were to block if you have a creature that's a 0/4, put this on it, it becomes a 0/5. That creature deals 5 damage. It can be pretty powerful in the right build. I think this can see some funky, like, weird, probably not competitive standard decks that care about this sort of thing. Definitely in commander decks that revolve around assigning combat damage based on toughness. This will definitely work. I think this could be good in draft and limited. Has potential there. Uncommon, kind of a weird uncommon, but never know. All right. We got Brigid, Hawkhan's Heart. When she enters, whenever this creature enters or transforms, you create a 1/1 green and white Kithkin. Beginning of your first main phase. So magic, the way turns are structured, there's different phases. Combat, untap, upkeep, um, main phase, combat, second main phase, end of turn. Beginning of your first main phase, you may pay green. If you do, you transform her. So some cards are double-sided. It flips over. She turns into Brigid, Dawn's Mind. She can add X green or X white, where X is the number of creatures you control. That can be devastating in an elf ball build or any kind of any kind of build that cares about a bunch of small, cheap creatures. Beginning of your first main phase, you may pay 1 white. If you do, you transform. So you could keep changing it. I think this can see some standard play. Definitely like in really there's a lot of cheap stuff like Land and War Elves, those rabbits, various weenie deck, small creatures matter builds. Look at the price variance here. The full art treatment is going for $31. Do not pay pre-release prices, people. Don't do it. What the hell happened to Bridget? She used to not look like this in the original art. Now she's a shriveled old lady. What have they done to my girl? So she's a Kithkin warrior. Kithkin are basically like hobbits. They're the magic universe version of hobbits. Halflings, whatever you want to call them. Kind of like dwarves, but not quite. But definitely standard viability. What do you guys think in chat? Does anybody see any potential with this? Yeah, some cards are very expensive. Don't buy any paper magic. If you like some paper, I recommend buying a couple packs, but don't spend your money on this game. You could play it all for free. What do we think of Brigid? Do we like the art? What do we think? Definitely a commander creature. Excuse me. Let's move on over. All right. This guy's funky. 2 mana, 4/4. Wow. Good value. So again, I think it's a good draft limited card. Definitely not standard viable. And just with 2 -1/1 counters on it. So for 2 mana, you basically get a 2/2. Remove a counter from it. Target creature gains indestructible until end of turn. So he has counters on him. Take the counters off. Give something else indestructible. So you'll get a rebate eventually. This guy will become a 4/4 again. There might be something I'm not thinking of where you love the art on Bridget. Yeah. Yeah. The art is very good in these cards. The art is appealing. Even as a non-Magic player. I know one of my other channel members, he buys certain Magic cards by a certain artist. He collects because he likes their art. And that's cool too. You enjoy the game however you want. Remove a 1/1 counter. So you remove a 1/1 counter on him. He enters as a 2/2. Remove a 1/1 counters. You want to get him back to being a 4/4. Now, what's interesting, if you can put other counters on him, like stun counters, first strike counters, flying counters, it just says remove a counter from this. Doesn't matter what kind. So if there's other counters you can put on him, he can take a beating. He's a 4/4. And he gives your other dudes stuff. So don't sleep on this card. Definitely a good card to have around for your FNM events for pre-release. All right, moving on. We've got Champion of the Clahan. So Lorwyn is based on Irish lore. I think it's Clahan. Not sure. I don't know what this dude's writing. I guess it's a bear. So he's a Kithkin Knight. He has Flash, which means you can cast him when it's not your turn. Additional cost to cast this spell. You behold a Kithkin and exile it. Behold is you exile a Kithkin you control or a Kithkin card from your hand. Other Kithkin you control get +1/1. This creature leaves the battlefield, return the exiled card to its owner's hand. This is a callback to an original ability that was in the first Lorwyn block called Champion, where you come into play, you exile it, you champion a creature. By champion, you exile it. This is a variation of that. You can champion something from your hand, basically. When it leaves the battlefield, you get the exiled card back, so you get a rebate. What's interesting is, well, it goes back to your hand, the Beheld card. Yeah, so if you could get that Kithkin that you behold back on the battlefield when this leaves, set it back to your hand, you can get additional ETB triggers, but I'm surprised they fixed it, so not broken. So he comes into play. He's an instant boost to your Kithkin. So you can do it during your opponent's turn. Your opponent's attack with a bunch of, 2/2s. You have nothing but 1/1 Kithkins. You go, bam, you flash this guy in. Your Kithkins become 2/2s and can block the other guys. They'll end up dying too, since they're blocking 2/2s or 3/3s. But this isn't bad to have around. This is what's called a Lord. Lord is an old word for a mechanic within Magic that powers up creatures that share a type. You'll be fine, Addy. I've been playing since '99. I'm very familiar. Just play Arena and get the basics down. You can watch YouTube videos. Watch my channel. I do Magic content too, or you could ask me questions anytime. As a channel member, you right there, you get exclusive access to me. Addy will tell you that. As an additional cost to cast. So what do we think? You like these riding a bear? What is he holding? Is that a hammer? That doesn't matter. Okay, moving on. This art, good looking. And they hold a tournament of this card game in my city. Nice. There you go. Go there and be like, some dopey American YouTuber sent me. I don't know, some idiot. What is? I don't like this art. This like shit. Is that guy in a wheelchair? No, no, they didn't. No. I did too much. No, 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 no. They didn't do that. Oh my God, this looks fake as hell. This looks terrible. This looks like shit. I'm gonna zoom back out. What did I do? I'm ruining my own show here. Thanks, Watsy. It's your fault. That art is scary. I can't get behind that. Hold on, I gotta check something on my thing here. All right, I can't do this. Look at this fucking thing. Look at this. So you got old man of the flute in the back. They look like they have a candle on their head. This lady's like half fading away in the back. Look at this. Look at this one. Where's the rest of her? Was it the gold thing? Is that the thought weft? Is that their hair? Where are her legs? Where are their legs? What is happening here? All right. What does the card do? This is God, I can't even look. When this enters, you create 1/1 green and white Kithkin creature tokens. So these are Kithkin, these dilapidated beings. Is it a fucking wheelchair or just a chair? This looks fake as hell. So bad. Who allowed this? I can't. Let's just look at the substance of the card, Benson. So for 5 mana, you can create another weird looking dude over here. Maybe one of them will be doing a handstand. So when it enters, it's an enchantment. Enchantments are abilities that are, think of an enchantment like, like if you think of like in witchcraft or general like fantasy, somebody enchants something. It's a lingering magic aura over something. That's what enchantments are. It's on a creature, on a land. It's an enchantment you have placed that has an ability. So, and it has like a passive ability you can do anytime. So it enters for 3 mana, you basically get 2/1/1 green and white bodies. Then for 5 mana, it creates more. I don't think this is a very good card. It cares about their Kithkin. So what the original Lorwyn had a mechanic called Tribal. It means it's a spell pertaining to a certain type of creature. Like their tribe uses that spell. So they got rid of the word tribal because Watsy hired people to tell them that tribal was insensitive. They did some research, and this weird research group said tribal's insensitive. You can't use that word. Is that the me care? It kind of looks like the me care. I like that. Student Thanks for stopping by. It looks like the me character creation. This looks like shit. I can't even get into it right now. I'll be here all night dissect this. Like, I can't get over Tambourine Lady in the back. She's like Forrest Gump with Lieutenant Dan. Lieutenant Dan, you ain't got no legs. He's like, I know that, Gump. They got them all. He's clearly the Asian one. She's the. I guess she's supposed to be black. No, she's black. He's in a wheelchair. He's got some brain cells missing or extra ones. I can't. So they got rid of the tribal mechanic, tribal wording. It became tribal is now kindred. I'm going to keep calling it tribal out of protest because nobody's offended about the word tribal in Magic the Gathering. I promise. No. And if you are offended about tribal in Magic the Gathering, you never played Magic the Gathering to begin with. Fuck off. So what's interesting about tribal slash kindred cards, they count as that creature type. So as we saw earlier, this guy's a Kithkin. This enchantment, even though it's not a creature, counts as a Kithkin. So if you have cards that care about Kithkin, behold a Kithkin and exile it. Exile a Kithkin you control or a Kithkin card from your hand. So with this guy here, your champion, you can behold this Kithkin card since its creature typing as an enchantment is Kithkin. David Spade playing the lute. That does look like David Spade, maybe a little bit. I'm gonna have nightmares if I keep staring at this. So what do we think of Clan Festival? Or Clahan? Given that it's an Irish mythology. Garbage. And it's worth it. They have it priced at $1 on the market. Don't believe pre-release prices, kids. All right, this is one of my favorite cards ever. It's been reprinted. This came out in the original Lorwyn block. It's a 3-mana tribal kindred instant shapeshifter. Shapeshifters are creatures that can change shape. They can make their creature type anything. And this card itself has changeling. It's every creature type. So this counts as a Kithkin. You could behold this crib swap with your champion of the Clahan here. This card is sneaky good. I recommend it in limited and sealed formats. Definitely in pre-release. You exile and or draft. Exiles a creature. Its controller gets a 1/1 colorless shapeshifter creature token with changeling. So you just exile their creature. When you exile a creature, it doesn't go to the graveyard. It's exiled. It's removed from the game. And in return, they get a 1/1 creature that is all abilities. That is all types. So they get a 1/1 creature with all creature types. That's all they get. You can kill their big scary monster that can hurt you, and all they get is a 1/1, 1 power, 1 toughness little dude. This thing's an instant speed. Something's coming at you don't like, just get rid of it, and all you got to deal with is the 1/1. This is an amazing card. There's so much power here with this thing. For a white card in standard to exile something, this is great. Like it's been reprinted so many times. I have a copy of the original. A secret layer drop. Why was this in a secret layer? I won't get into it, but this is great. Okay, moving on. Furious Colossus. 7 mana, giant warrior, 7/7. When it enters, each creature target opponent controls loses all abilities, becomes a coward in addition to its other types, and has base power and toughness 1/1. It can respect giants, but not usually from such a close range. So a lot of magic cards have what's called flavor text. Like it tells a story about the card. This is pretty funny. It's a giant just picking up the house. Like, ooh, what's this? And it's the Kithkin, the little guys. Oh man, that's funny. So for 7 mana, 7/7. Each creature target opponent controls loses all abilities, becomes a coward. So cowards don't do arena on the phone. Yeah, I wouldn't recommend it, Addy. Addy, if you have a decent PC, a laptop, maybe even can MacBook run arena? I'm not sure. A decent enough laptop can run arena in a serviceable way. What is going on with the Kithkin coming out of the house? They look like a pile of mush. I can't get into that right now. So this card's not good. I feel like it should have flash. It's powerful. Loses all abilities, becomes a coward and other types in his base power. It's almost like a board wipe. It turns everything into a 1/1 with no abilities and is a coward. I believe cowards can't block. Is that how it works? Cowards? The card that turns creatures into, that gives creatures coward creature type. Oh no, just a coward. Okay. Interesting. Becomes a coward. But cowards can't block. I might be wrong though. Basically enters the battlefield. Each creature target opponent controls loses all abilities. Coward, and has base power and toughness 1/1. So if it's a base power to like 5/5, you play this, it turns it into a 1/1 with no abilities, and it's a coward. Your opponent, you get a big body, and you've solved your opponent's creatures. But if your opponent's creatures have counters on them, they keep the counters. So 1/1 counters, there's a lot of 1/1 counter meta in the meta right now for standard. This will not solve the counters on the creature. Keep that in mind. Is this card good in draft or pre-release? What do you guys think? It's a commander deck card for giants, giant tribal. How you doing, Francois? We're keeping it white. We're reviewing the white cards for Lorwyn Eclipsed tonight. What do we think of Curious Colossus? Smash or pass? Smash meaning you'll draft it, you'll use it. Is it standard viable? Probably not. It's a sideboard card, if anything, in standard. All right. We've got Eridu, Carrier of Dawn, Elemental God. He's got no face, just a big light bulb on his head. Flying and lifelink, 5 mana. Creature spells you cast have convoke. So your creatures have the ability, your creatures can help cast those spells. For each creature you tap while casting a creature spell pays for 1 mana of that creature's color. Beginning of your first main phase, you may pay black. If you do, transform him, getting you Isilu, Carrier of Twilight, Flying Lifelink. Each other non-token you control has persist. When it dies, it had no counters on it. Return to the battlefield, it's under control with a 1/1 counter on it. So you can you get recursion on your dudes. It's a top-end finisher. Yeah, I agree, Francois. That giant is a good finisher in pre-release. That's about it. Maybe a standard sideboard card, but that's about it. I don't think it'll... I feel like this side is a lot better. Your stuff has persist. If it goes to the graveyard and it didn't have a 1/1 counter on it, it comes back from the yard with a 1/1 counter on it. So it basically gets reanimated from the dead, which is good for creatures that have abilities. Like when it enters the battlefield, this happens. So you can get a lot of recursion out of this card. So find a way to sack your own dudes in a sacrifice build. This comes with this out, and you can use those abilities again and again. And if you can find a way to remove 1/1 counters, you can go far. That giant we looked at earlier, which removes 1/1 counters from itself, something like that could work out well. It can combo off with lots of black cards that do all opponents' creatures get -1/1 on a turn. Which card, the giant or this guy? So this guy basically flying and lifelink, and the other side is the opposite. Oh, it's the same, flying and lifelink. I don't know how this guy doesn't look like he has a tail. It looks like just like an elephant, but it just has just a trunk. Anyway, how do we feel about this? The convoke thing. 5 mana gives everything convoke. Like it's a mythic flyer that gives stuff convoke. It seems kind of niche and weird. I don't know about standard. I'm trying to get re-familiar with standard. Oh, the giant makes everything a 1/1. Yeah. Yeah, turn everything into a 1/1 and gets -1/1 till end of turn. But like there's the standard meta, as you've seen in some of my gameplay, has a lot of cards that have a lot of cards in the standard meta put 1/1 counters on dudes. They might lose all abilities, all their prowess decks, everything loses prowess, but they keep their 1/1 counters. So it's kind of it's just okay. What do we think of Eridu? I'm actually going to go run some ads, hit the restroom, but let's chat it up. Let me know what you guys think of these cards. I'll be right back, everyone. I just saw that. Eridu equals trash. I don't disagree. The flying lifelink 5 for 5 is really just bad ramp for big stop hits. There's a cheat out in other ways. Yeah. There's a lot of free casting. There's definitely better ways to do that. I have to move this over a bit. It's not really user friendly. Flip it. The flip side of Eridu, the persist is definitely more powerful. So YouTube has a dual stream where I can puts my content into shorts feed as well. I'm trying to make this card visible in the shorts feed. Gotta move this over more. How did it get so fucked up? I had it in a good place. We think. Move it on over. There you go. Perfect. All right, we'll run with it. All right, let's get back at it, everyone. Doing good. See 5 likes. Let's get me to 10 likes. 48 views so far. YouTube still getting caught up. All right, let's keep at it. Elemental God might be where its real value is. So when elementals, yeah, elementals have a lot of abilities to help cast themselves. I mean, this is probably better off something you could reanimate or cheat out. But I think the other side is more powerful. And I feel like with the standard meta right now, there's so much removal that the creature strategies are almost like they're shit. Well, when I come up against creature decks, I get fucking flattened because I'm not at the speed on running all kinds of removal. But let's move on. I think this side is more powerful. Either way, you're getting flying and lifelink. Makes you pay more stuff. Let's move on over. There you go. Encumbered Regery. All right, so we got a weird one here. 2 mana, 5/4. Enters with 3 -1/1 counters on it. Whenever this creature becomes tapped and has a 1/1 counter on it, remove a 1/1 counter from it. Persist does go infinite. If you have that, what's her name out from the new Phyrexia, creatures you control can't have counters on them. You can break Persist with that card. Yeah, Persist is freaky. But nothing gets sacked for Aristocrat. It's going to survive the 1/1 from Persist, so how good is it really? True. So what do we think of this guy? Like you're gonna be tempted. You're gonna be tempted on this and your FNMs, your pre-release, your draft. You're gonna look at this and be like, oh my god, 2 mana 5/4. Oh wait a minute. Oh wait a minute. Oh, it's gonna get worse and worse when you read it. So enters with 3 -1/1 counters on it. When it becomes tapped, while it has a 1/1 counter on it, remove a counter from it. So you're gonna have to attack with it early on. 5, 4, 3, 2. So what is it? It's a 2 mana 2/1 essentially. So find a way to remove the counters pretty quick. Did we see anything that removes -1/1 counters yet besides that giant? Now, if you find a way to blink this, blink is an ability where you move a creature from the battlefield and return it to the battlefield instantaneously. This is a callback to a card called Marrow Regery that was in the first Lorwyn block. I like the flavor text. And Marrow's value to their school is heavily determined by the wealth they're able to bring back. About devious this flight mechanic, yeah. Yeah, when it attacks, it gets stronger. Your opponent's going to be on edge knowing you have this. You're going to get this out pretty early, pretty quickly. You know, by your turn 3, you're gonna be hurting people with this. This is a good target for blight. Yeah. Well, you want to get to their counters off, otherwise you're gonna blight it and end up killing it. So it fits into the fish build, the Merfolk tribe. 2 mana. I think this is a good card. This is great for draft and pre and field, pre-release, whatever you want to call it. All right, Everstrike's Gift. Enchanted creature gets +1/0 and has flying. Blight 2. Return this card from your graveyard to your hand. Activate only as a sorcery. Get this. I'm going to work backwards here. You can get this card back. Enchanted creature gets +1/0 and has flying. It's an aura, so for 1 mana, your dude gets +1/0 and has flying. Flying is huge and limited. It could and I'm mushing these all together. Rob, what is when you build your own deck with 6 packs? Is that considered constructed? I'll just call that pre-release. Pre-release and draft. So pre-release and draft, this is huge. You want flying in those formats. This is amazing for that. And the fact that you can get it back by Blight 2 something is pretty good. It's not great. It's uncommon, so you're not going to get a ton of these. You never know. Pre-release packs are weirdly juiced stacked sometimes. But I like the art. It's got a very, I guess, watercolor look to it. But so for 1 mana, you give something evasion and a buff. I think this is pretty good. You put this on your guy up here, you can get yourself. He's going to be a 6/4 pretty quickly because you'll have this on him. He'll get +1/0. All the counters come off. This dude is a 6/4 flyer right off the bat. You'll quickly get those -1/1 counters. And if you want to get this card back, you can go ahead and put it on a card like Encumbered Regery here. All right, we're going to move on. I love these changelings. Look at this. This dude's just blended in. So a 3 mana changeling, flash and flying. So do not pass on any flyers. If you get a lot of white cards, you want this. You want a flash flyer. When this creature enters, return to one of the target creature you control to its owner's hand. Spoke too soon. So you can get back something that has like an ETB effect. You can get back something like your guy up here, so the counters fall off. It's a good way to protect your stuff. So if your opponent targets one of your creatures with a destruction, that's like a card that says destroy this creature. So if they hit my Marrow here with destroy this creature, I can flash this in, return it to my hand. So I get a creature in return. I save my creature for another day. Why is this valued at $3? That's dumb. Anyway. I just love these changeling cards. I love all of them. I have so many of the original changeling commons and uncommons. Now this is all creature types. This thing counts as this thing counts as a merfolk. It counts as a Kithkin. It's an elemental. It's a sliver. It's a human. It's everything. Definitely not going to be a standard card, but it is a fun card to have around for your pre-release and draft. Do not pass on flying. I'm telling you. Here we go. This guy riding a fat chicken. 4 mana. Enters. Creatures you control get 1/0 till end of turn. Kithkin creatures you control gain first strike. $3 flash bounce tribal. Well, it's not supposed to be $3. It just pulls the price on the market. These shops put their cards at phony, stupid prices, hoping somebody buys it. Yeah, flash flying is amazing. Yeah, this bounce on Flock Imposters. Yeah, do not sleep on this. If you get one of these, use it. This guy, Gallant Foul Knight. Now again, this is not gonna standard non-sealed events. This is not a good card. This will not work in standard. This one will not work in standard. I don't even know if you want this in draft or anything else. Enters. If it had flash, it would be good, but it gives a buff to everything until end of turn and give your Kithkin first strike. 4 mana. It's not great. Gotta watch the time. I want to be in bed before midnight. All right. Moving on. Look at the fucking teeth on this guy. Oh my god. Wow. Exile this card from your graveyard. You create a green and white Kithkin. So if you need like a discard fodder that you can rebate later on, this is a good one. You can only do it as a sorcery though. This card. You just want a 1/1 body to attack with and later on rebate if you need to. Fine. But other than that, this is not a good card. Currently goes for $2 on the market. Such a fake price. Yeah, this is bad. Pass on this. All right, moving on over. We got Keep Out. Deals 4 damage to target tapped creature, destroy target enchantment. We don't want your kind round here. So the way the storyline works in Lorwyn, I think prior to the multiverse invasion by the Phyrexians, Lorwyn underwent a cycle of it was actually considered 2 planes. It's Lorwyn and Shadowmoor. Every certain amount of time it transforms. When it's Lorwyn, all the creatures are like their own positive. Usually, all the creatures are like they all have a certain nature and behavior. So the Kithkin on Lorwyn, they're kind village folk kind of people like hobbits. When they're in Shadowmoor, the Kithkin become these evil-looking, jealous, protective, aggressive little angry critters. So this is the Shadowmoor version of the Kithkin. I like the art. The art is very cool. I like a card, lion grass, wheatgrass, or something from Visions. So it deals. This is a very white ability. It deals 4 damage to a tapped creature, and destroys or destroys an enchantment. This is sideboard stuff, not standard playable, but it's good sideboard for your pre-release or your draft. 4 damage to a tapped creature. You can flat. It's an instant speed. They attack. You don't want to get hit for that. Take it out. Pretty standard fare. Not a lot to say about that. Great art. There you go. Kin binding. This is some power. Creatures you control get plus XX. So we got an enchantment. 5-mana enchantment. Creatures you control get plus XX, where X the number of creatures that enter the battlefield under your control this turn. Beginning of combat in your turn, you create a 1/1 green and white Kithkin creature token. Hey, think here. Now, it's not all creatures. It only works with Kithkin. Creatures you control get pull. It does affect all creatures, but like the tribe it's aiming for is Kithkin. X the number of creatures you control that enter the battlefield this turn. The creatures you control get plus 2/2 if 2 creatures enter the battlefield this turn. Shadowmoor Kithkin equals the Viet Cong. It kind of looks like it. Pop out of a hole and get you. What do we think of kin binding? Definitely I see this going in a lot of commander decks. I feel like this should have convoke or something. Because look at the art. It looks like they're convoking, doing a ritual. And yet it doesn't. So it does have a way. So you're guaranteed at the beginning of your turn, you create a dude. So creatures you control get plus XX, where X is the number of creatures that enter the battlefield this turn. Beginning of your turn, something is guaranteed to enter because of this card's ability. It buffs your creatures. You want a lot of token generation. This is good in token decks. As far as standard playability, it's 5 mana. It's expensive. Yeah, it's definitely a tribal token deck card. Creatures you control. If 5 creatures entered, your dudes get plus 5/5. I wonder about the timing of it. Creatures you control get plus XX, where X the number of creatures that enter the battlefield. So if stuff just keeps entering, they just get bigger. So if this out on the battlefield, your opponent, it's not your turn. Oh, under your control this turn. Never mind. You can attack, flash some stuff in during combat. Creature's bigger. The good, I guess, cantrip. What's the word? Y'all know what I mean. What do we think of kin binding? All right, this is my meme art. So this card is on the thumbnail for this stream. I removed the background. I took a so on Scryfall. You can download the art for a card. I downloaded the art, removed the background. It just looks so funny. A non-Magic player saw this in my Discord. They're like, "What the fuck? What is happening? Is this real?" Doesn't work with mobilize. It's going to count creatures before combat. What does mobilize do? Inbinding is only going to count creatures before combat. I just love the art on this. So this is a callback to an artist that's been in Magic for a long time. I guess they just brought her back. When I saw this art, it just looked familiar. And I looked at her here on Scryfall, and look at all these old cards. Boob. Look at the art. This style. Like, this is just so awesome to see. They brought back an old school artist like this. Lion's Eye Diamond. No, card. From Lion's Eye Diamond to this. It has an old school art charm. When I first saw that, I just instantly felt a wave of nostalgia. Got ads? I am monetized. Think of it this way. The ads help. If you love me, you want to help me. You want to do kin binding with me. You'll watch ads. What do we think of this card? This is a callback to a Kithkin in the prior Lorwyn block, where you would reveal a Kithkin from your hand, or the cost goes up. There's additional cost to cast, behold a Kithkin or pay 2. Now, you can remember, you can behold one of the changeling creatures that have shapeshifters with changeling. They'll count towards this card. Whenever another creature you control enters, this creature gets +1/1 until end of turn. So you want to behold something, or you end up paying 3 mana for a 2/1. When another creature you control enters, this creature gets +1/1 until end of turn. So in a build that cares about a lot of creatures entering, like that kin binding enchantment, this gets bigger. Whenever a creature you control enters, it gets bigger. This is something you want in your builds for pre-release or draft. So don't pass on this. Maybe even in standard Kithkin tribal or around tokens, decks that crank out a lot of tokens and creatures. I definitely recommend having this around. My goodness. How do we feel about Kin's Bale Aspirant? What do we think? I like it. I can dig it. All right, we're going to move on. All right. We got Kinsgare's Sentry. Why do they all have these like floating Sims gems on their head? I don't remember that from the first. We got a 2-mana soldier, first strike, lifelink. Ooh, are soldiers a thing? Yeah, isn't there some soldier synergy in Final Fantasy? When it attacks, you may put a creature card with mana value X or less from your hand on the battlefield tapped and attacking. Oh my god, where X is the number of creatures you control. This is very good. So attacks, creature card with mana value X or less from your hand on the battlefield, where X is the number of attacking creatures you control. So the more creatures, you can put a creature with mana value X or less from your... Wow. Pretty good. You get stuff onto the board. What is it? Preeminent Captain that does that? Oh no, this is the Kinsbale. There's a card that did something like this in the original Lorwyn block. This is a reference to that card. Attacks, you can put a creature. So you attack, you can get something X or less from hand of the battlefield tapped and attacking, where X is the number of attacking creatures you can. So you attack with three creatures, anything with mana value 3 or less. It is going to come out and swing. You get her really big, you can crank out big stuff. But this is a great way, and especially for cards like the Kinsbale, the Kin Binding rather earlier, you'll get your buff from this. And if you do the Kinsgare Sentry, excuse me, something enters, this will get bigger as well. So 3 cards that sing together right off the bat. If you get the pieces for it, you could aim to put something like this together for Friday Night Magic, pre-release or your draft deck. that all the white cards? Next. All right. Not really. I like the art here. Myth Keeper and the I think you can touch the glowy, glittery wings here. So 7 mana. This is not a good card. How does it not have flying? Why is this guy on a wall? What is happening? I can't get into the art. These schedule ads, 15 minutes, take a break and run some ads. No one misses the live show. All right, I'll consider that. Got Kith Keeper, Vivid. When this creature enters, create tokens. Where X is the number of colors among permanents you control. So it cares about having other colors. So you're green. A lot of the Kithkins that created Kithkin tokens, they're green and white. So right there, you'll get 2 tokens. You tap your tokens, tap 3 untapped creatures you control. This creature gets +3/0. So you had that fish earlier. When it becomes tapped, remove a 1/1 counter from it. You can tap down your Merfolk. It gets stronger, it gets back to its base power and toughness. This gets +3/0 and flying until end of turn. Definitely a lot of utility here. I don't like that it's 7 mana. 7 mana for when it enters, you get stuff. You're not going to want to run more than 3 colors in draft or pre-release. So I think this is a bad card. This isn't the standard playable. We're going to go ahead and move on. We've got Liminal Hold. Okay, so we got another seems like every standard set has one of these Banishing Light, Journey to Nowhere cards. When it enters, exile to 1 target non-land permanent an opponent controls until this enchantment leaves the battlefield. You gain 2 life. It's good, great removal. Definitely consider this in pre-release draft. Can't say that enough. I don't understand the art. Why is half of her melding into the rock? Why does she look like she have like flower petals for legs? The art's a little. Oh, maybe that's why everything. That's her dress and her legs have turned stone. If Reliquary is needed to pass through the eclipse safely, without it, 2 warring selves will calcify into. This is a great card for white removal. Don't pass on this. All right, we got Meanderer's Guide. We got a 3 mana Merfolk Scout. When it attacks, 3/2. Tap another untapped Merfolk you control. Remember, you can tap your changelings with this. The art is terrible. Yeah, I'm not a fan. It's not great. See the Kithkin earlier? The little Kithkin party with the one guy in the wheelchair? So when this attacks, tap another untapped Merfolk so you can target your changelings. When you do, return target creature card with mana value 3 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. This very good. Tap on, so you have to tap a Merfolk. Return target creature card so you can get something back that isn't a Merfolk. The stuff that cares about when it enters, creates tokens, buffs, gets bigger. The fact that a 3 mana uncommon gets stuff back. You want to put that 1 mana enchantment that gives it +1/0 and flying on a card like this. Attack, you get one of your dudes. Definitely a lot of utility here. This might even see standard play. I feel like this can work in a token build. Stuff enters. There's a lot that can happen here. How do we feel about Meanderer's Guide? All right, moving on. We've got a tree. He's a sad tree. He enters with a 1/1 counter on him. So he's a 1/4 for 3 mana. Remove a counter from this creature, draw a card, only activate as a sorcery. So he's a good defensive piece. Serviceable in that sense. Remove a counter, he gets bigger. He gets back to being a 2/5, and you draw a card. But the fact that it's only as a sorcery, that is pretty shitty. The box art is great. The box art, I think, is the extended art. For the purpose of this stream, I only pulled up the regular art, not the extended art special treatment. It's just overload. So this 3 mana uncommon is marketed for $1.06, which makes no sense. How do we feel about this card? I don't think it's great. All right, moving on. Morning Tide's Light by Mark Poole. Mark Poole's an old school artist. We got 4 mana. Exile any number of target creatures. Beginning of the next end step, return those cards to the battlefield tapped under their owner's control. So you can target your opponent's stuff. Any number of target creatures. So target your stuff, your opponent's stuff. Until your next turn, prevent all damage that will be dealt to you. Exile this card. This is an awesome card. Don't pass on this. The Tree Folk is good for Blight. It's a great Blight target. Because it's got a big butt, it can take that beating. No tap equals draw several cards. Yeah, it's pretty limited. But that one is only, you can only do it, no, you're right. Yeah, that's a great point, Francois. That's why I love having you here. Dump your Blight counters on this guy. Pay 2 mana, remove them, draw cards. So you want cards like this that are great for being targeted with Blight. So Morning Tide's Light, exile them of target creatures. Beginning of the next end step, return those to the battlefield tapped under their owner's control. In fact, there's a sorcery is a little bit slow, but instant would be too powerful. So you can get back all your dudes that have, when this creature enters, stuff happens. This is going to see Pioneer play on, at least on Arena. There's those white-blue control decks that, play stuff from the graveyard. They're just going to, well, this gets exiled, so I guess they won't do that. But they're going to find ways to break this. Multiple copies of it. Your next turn, prevent all damage that will be dealt to you. So find a way to get around the exile, maybe. And exile stuff, prevent damage. This is a very good card. You have to do it before combat, ideally. Or your second main phase. Attack with everything, exile everything. And at the beginning of the next end step. So after that, at the beginning of the next end step, after the second main phase, this kicks in, everybody gets everything back. 4 mana. How do we feel about this? All right, here we are. Personify. I like the art. 2 mana. Exile target creature you control. Return that card to the battlefield under control. You create it. This is a must-have auto include. This will even see standard play. Look at this. So it gives you a body. Exile creature you control. Return to the battlefield tapped under its owner's control. So your stuff like your Marrow earlier, when it enters, it's going to come back. It's going to re-enter with its counters on it. So it's pretty limited in that sense. But if you want to reset the counters on it, airbending frogs, there you go. Now we're cooking. So you target something like your Marrow Regery, your Marrow that cares about 1/1 counters on, remove the counters, stuff to happen. Get the counters back. A good way to reset the board, and you get a body. You can also protect one of your creatures. You attack your opponent, buffs the blocker. It's going to kill your piece, your creature you might need, so you can exile it. Return to the battlefield under its owner's control, and it doesn't come back tapped. So it's a good way to protect your stuff. This is amazing in a tribal deck. Yes, I agree. The fact that it's not a tribal instant, a tribal changeling spell, is a little weird. Like, that seems like that's what this card is all about. But it's not. This is very good. This is, you want to use this in your limited, your pre-release and draft events. Turns a non-tribal creature into a tribal creature. Yeah. Well, it doesn't, the return to the battlefield under its owner's control. It comes back as the same card, but you create a changeling with it. You get back. Excuse me. I'm drinking a non-alcoholic beer. Yes, those. You create a 1/1 shapeshifter creature token with changeling. So your dude comes back. It's the same card. Nothing changes except you get an extra body with it. So stuff that cares about other creatures, like that Kithkin earlier, creatures that entered this turn, this will buff it. Move it along. Protective response, convoke. Destroy target attacking or blocking creature. This is a very good card, I think. 3 mana, uncommon. Something's coming at you. Just tap your dudes down. You can pay this card for 0. If you have enough tokens out, Kithkin, green and white Kithkin tokens, you could even free cast this probably. There's so much you can do here. An attacking or blocking creature. And again, a card that cares about being tapped to remove its counters. Convoke is a great way to use that ability. card. No, it didn't come back as a 1/1 change. Like it just blinks it basically, and you get a change. How do we feel about protective response? All right, moving on over. Jefferson's moving on up to the east side. Yeah. You don't like protective response? So we got Pyrrhic Strike. 3 mana, additional cost to cast this, Blight 2. So again, Blight that Tree Folk earlier, or anything that cares about having counters on it. You can use this ability. You could choose one of this spell's additional cost was paid, choose both instead. So if you blight 3 mana, if you blight, destroy target artifact or enchantment, creature with mana value 3 or greater. So this is a great removal card. White really got to push this set. Protect yourself. Blight. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about this. The instant, great card to help protect your creatures. Might be more so of a sideboard piece if your opponent has a lot of creatures you're worried about. Invoke is the real benefit of the card. That's true. Well, lots of white cards, but keep in mind for pre-release, where you get a pre-release kit of 6 packs only from this set, you're limited to whatever's in this set. So in that context, I think it's. Let's see. I like the art. What did he kill? What is this thing? Oh, I see its eye here. I can't tell what this thing is. So artifact or enchantment. Target creature with mana value 3 or greater. There's a lot you can do here. You blight the right creature that has a benefit from that, go ahead and do it. We've got Reluctant Downguard. It's art. Look at this. It's like an old school art, too. So there you go. He enters with 2 1/1 counters on him. Whenever another creature you control enters, while this has a 1/1 counter on it, remove a 1/1 counter on him. I don't like that clause. Creature enters while it. Oh, I guess so it doesn't get weird. Enters while this has a 1/1 counter on it, remove a counter from this creature. You can't have it just. If they didn't have that second clause, that first line, rather, I guess, or clause, I don't know. Pardon the English language technicalities here. Yeah, you can't remove a 1/1 counter from it if it doesn't have one on it. So I guess you need that extra word. So over 3 mana, 2/2, which is not good. It's really weird. But he gets bigger. Especially with these Kithkin, you can crank a lot of them out pretty quickly. In token decks, he cares about that, but this is not standard play. This is only for pre-release or draft. You're not going to use this anywhere else. Playable in draft, yeah, I agree. All right, we got Reese the Evermore. I remember this guy. I read the Lorwyn book. I read some of the Morningtide books, then I got rid of them. Like, kept those. He was very good back in the day. So his original printing, the green version, then the green and white version. There are 2 versions of him. He does a lot of really great. His original version of himself, not this mono white. It's weird to see a mono white elf. Like versus be. In the storyline, long and short is, he was trained by a tree folk named Kalfanor. The elves believe in being perfect. They believe in killing and anything that's not considered a perfect being, perfect life form. His hunting party was out hunting eye blights, which are goblins. They got swarmed, so he used a forbidden tree folk magic, which obliterated everything around him, and it even broke off his own horns. So he became blighted and considered not beautiful and perfect. He became Reese the Exiled, or whatever it was in the storyline, and he became hunted by his own tribe because he killed his own. They just thought he killed his own people. They didn't know the context. They were hunting him. And he eventually got restored, got his horns restored. So 2 mana, 2/2 flash elf warrior. Reese enters. No target creature you control gains persist until end of turn. So this is an instant protection spell. Remove any number of counters from target creature you control. That is awesome. You could run a commander deck around him, and just any of these creatures with counters on them. That merfolk earlier, this guy will remove all the counters from it. That tree folk earlier, you don't want to do that because you want the card draw. This card is great. You keep blighting your stuff for various mechanics. You want those blight counters off. Reese here is going to help you. And again, he's gonna protect your creature. It doesn't have any. If it's not already blighted, he enters. Other target creature you control gains persist. You block with it, it comes back. If it has an ETB ability, you get an added bonus. There's a lot going on here. I like this card. Maybe should have been a mythic, but I get why they didn't. Great card. He is awesome for blight decks. Do not pass on this. Now again, everything I'm saying, don't pass on it. Depends on what your pulls are. But all these white cards, mono white by itself can work. Move on over. We got River Guard's Reflexes. A target creature gets +2/2 and gains first strike until end of turn unhappy. It's basically a pseudo counter pump spell. Get targeted. Creature gets targeted. Pump it 2/2 and gains first strike until end of turn. Untap it. You could even attack, buff it up if you want to get through. If you need an extra 2 damage to end the game. It won't see standard play, but again, pre-release or draft, not a bad card. Sideboard worthy, but not great. How do we feel about this? Anybody else, Magic players lurking in the chat? We got Shore Lurker. This is weird card. I don't get what's happening here. Merfolk Scout. I can't dwell on the art on these cards. It's so funky. So 4 mana flying surveils. This is not a good card. Flying is great and limits in pre-release and draft. But 4 mana surveil. You take this if you have no other options. You want flyers, but there's other better ones you can use. But this guy, Slumbering Walker. We got a 5 mana giant, enters the battlefield with 2/1/1 counters on it. This is a good blight counter sponge. Beginning of your end step, remove a counter from this creature. When you do, return target creature card power 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield. This is not going to be very good. This is like maybe a stopper or a game ender in pre-release or draft, but good luck casting it. Doesn't have Convoke. More than likely not standard playable. Yeah, remove counters. At the beginning of the end step is weird. Yeah, remove a counter. To return target creature card with power 2 or less. So you're going to be bringing back some pretty weak stuff. Power 2 or less. Small value creatures. Maybe some ETB effects that give you tokens. I don't think this is great. Don't be deceived by this. Spiral and Solitude. Like this. So it's pacifism. Chance a creature can't attack or block. Serviceable. This is good in the right environment. Blight 1, sack, exile enchanted creature. Holy moly. Well, as long as you got something to blight, this can be a 4 mana exile, which is very good in draft and pre-release. Keep an eye out for this one. I like the art. Very, very fitting. You can feel this art. All right, we got Sun Dappled Celebrant. Look at a Disney character. He has Convoke, and he's 6 mana, 5/6. Good late game card. Got a lot of Kithkin tokens laying around, as well as other tokens you create, other creatures laying around. He's good for Blight. You got a big butt. Hit him with your Blight tokens. Blight counters, excuse me. Got fun. He's got a nice smile. Look at that. Thought Weft Imbuer. I wonder what she's holding. Is that a reference to something? The artist. Oh, I guess the person draws a lot of jewels. Huh. Anyway. Okay, whenever creature you control attacks alone. Oh, it's like Exalted. It gets XX until end of turn, where X is the number of Kithkin you control. So 4 mana, it's a bit stiff. 0/5, like that. Creatures, there's that Dorian's Shield, as showed earlier. That creatures that can deal cut damage. If their toughness is greater than its power, it deals damage equal to its combat damage by its toughness. This can be used in that sense. A lot of utility here. A good exercise for me. Helps me recall the other cards and helps me get to know the format. And hopefully I help you get to know the format. Whenever creature you control attacks alone, again, XX number of Kithkins you control. That can be pretty good. You're going to need a lot of Kithkin around. And in a limited pre-release or draft environment, it's not going to be the full standard gambit. You can't keep creatures around in the standard meta. There's too much removal. But this is good in this format. 4 mana is stiff. But I think it's all worth it at the end of the day, what this card is going to do for you. It's an uncommon, so you won't get, might not get too many of them, but I recommend keeping this around. The right build. All right, look at this. Image Shield Bearer. Creatures you control, this is a bad card. If you absolutely just need a creature, fine. This is a bad card. 5 mana, 1/1 until end of turn. No for standard. No for pre-release. No for draft. Oh, and look at his face. Develop WotC R&D. Hey, you're going to be a shitty card. Okay. Smile on this. Okay. 3 mana, flying. When this creature becomes tapped, to target merfolk you control gets +2/0 until end of turn. That's playable in standard. Which card? Don't forget there's a delay, everybody. The Thought Weft Imbuer. I think that's standard play in the right build. What do we think of Tributary Vaulter? 3 mana. We like flying. It's good in that sense. So I recommend considering one of these if you get a lot of white. If white's in your card pool. 3 mana, 1/3 becomes tapped. It buffs another merfolk. So when it attacks, you can basically power something up. Giant. Oh, the other. Oh. The delay that bad, or you're just trying to catch up? It's okay. Or probably maybe the ads. I did reduce the ads, so hopefully that helps. Looking at the Tributary Vaulter, how do we feel about this? You want a flyer. It's good in that sense. Becomes tapped, and the target creature, merfolk, gets... Again, you can target your changelings. Serviceable. No, this is good in draft. You want flying. Flying is... I learned Zendikar... not Zendikar, right? Zendikar... Battle for Zendikar. Just how valuable flying was. That taught me you want flyers. Wanderbrine Preacher, 2 mana. Whenever this creature becomes tapped, you gain 2 life. So we came across a few cards, I believe, that care about getting tapped. So when you attack, you're going to gain some life. You're going to have other cards around. So, Convoke. Duh. So whenever these use these for Convoke costs, things happen. This is nothing but a Convoker. Nothing's around, you can swing at it and gain life. You can get your money back. But again, pre-release draft, this thing is definitely usable. I like this, and I like the art. Rank out of the wrong side of this camp. There you go, Wanderbrine Trapper. Tap another untapped creature you control. Target creature and opponent controls. So tap down your Wanderbrine over here. Tap down your Vaulter. Tap down your merfolk from earlier, the guy carrying all the stuff. Control the board. This is a great card. It enables, cards like Preacher and Vaulter here without having to attack or convoke. I think this is pretty good. Get yourself a nice fish deck going. That merfolk is good. Yeah. All 3 of these are serviceable. They pair nicely together. Trapper. All right, Winnowing, a 6 mana card. Got more Convoke, so tap down the white creatures we saw earlier. We just passed by those 3 fish. For each player, you choose a creature that player controls. Then each player sacrifices all of the creature they control that don't share a creature type with the chosen creature they control. I confused myself on that. So Convoke, 6 mana. For each player, you choose a creature that player controls. So I choose their land or elves, and that player sacrifices all the creatures they control that don't share creature type with the chosen creature. So if I choose the land or elves, they sacrifice everything that's not an elf. So your changelings are going to die. And apparently one of the printings of this card is going for $240. But don't listen to pre-release prices, kid. How do we feel about this? Nestilator thinks this is very broken. Tribal board wipe is fun, I agree. For each player, so you have to choose yourself. Choose a creature that player controls, so it targets everybody. 6 mana, convoke, tap down everything. You don't care that it's tapped, you're going to be killing everything pretty much. But it works in a tribal build. No, changelings will not live because they're everything at once. So if you choose the Llanowar Elf again, you have a changeling. It's also a changeling, but it's also a merfolk. It's a bear. It's a obscure creature type. Skeleton. It's a goblin. I don't know if your changeling will live. But I guess that it is also considered an elf, so it might live. Maybe. I don't know. Is there a judge here? We got any judge in the chat? Any rules people? I can tell you're better at this than me, so I'm gonna go. I believe you. Listen to Francois, everyone. How do we feel about winnowing? Why is she pouring out beans? Share creature types they live. Well, that makes sense. Very powerful card. Day of Judgment. All the other board wipes that are out there. This is going to be up there. This is standard playable, especially all the tribal stuff going on. I like this. You want this in your pre-release events and draft. All right, that's all the white cards. Got through them all. All the blue. You want to look at. Go back. Lorwyn. I think there's only 2 colorless cards. Lorwyn, Eclipsed. Oh, okay. Well, I think these are the only 2 colorless cards. So as an added bonus, we'll go ahead and look at these. We got Changeling Wayfinder, a 3 mana, 1/2. When it enters search library for a basic land, reveal it, put it in your hand, then shuffle. I like the. I just love these guys. This Changeling. Funny they made them colorless. I don't understand. But I'll take it. No map, no complaints. I like this guy. Doesn't care. I like how he made a telescope on his hand. So 3 mana, 1/2. Get a land into your hand. Thin out your deck, which is great in a format where you want to have a 40 card deck at most. What do we think of this 5 mana Rooftop Percher? I don't think it's a very good card. Percher over here. When an enters, exile the 2 target cards from graveyards. So clean out the yards for 5 mana, 3/3 flying. We like flyers in our limited formats environments, but other than that, it's not a good card. So the color, check out the colorless cards. Since I think these are the only 2. Yeah. So how do we feel about all these, everything we looked at? How does everybody feel about Lorwyn? What was the best card you saw here? What's y'all's favorite? I want to take it back to the top. So like this going here to kind of tie it all together. All your convoked guys are going to be indestructible with this Adept Water Shaper. Don't pass on this in your pre-release or your draft. Johnny, I don't think it's great. Rooftop Changing player with Ugin. The Flash Bird is very good. I do like the Flash Bird. A Flash Flyer, you can't go wrong. So again, we got more Convoke. 1 or 2 target creatures get +2/+1. This is what I was talking about earlier. That Thought Weft Kithkin, the 0/5. It assigns combat damage. As long as a equipped creature's toughness is greater than its power. So that 3 mana thought weft Kithkin thing earlier, that 0/5, it has 5 power basically with this equipped to it. It's uncommon, you might not get many of them. You got Bridget here, she got really, really old since 2006, apparently. I don't know how time works in the Magic universe, but we won't get into that. Benson without a hat. Yeah, no, well, I almost said baseball season. Football season's over. I think I'm wearing too many hats. I feel like my hair kind of stopped growing. Maybe it's just my imagination. But I don't want to. I don't know. It's bad for wear hats too much. I get like head pimples sometimes because otherwise, mostly very mid or subpar cards. Yeah, I remember talking to somebody else. That was, I think it was you, Francois. We were looking at other cards from Lorwyn, and we're like, these are shit. A lot of them aren't great. So Bridget here gives you tokens. You care about tokens. This gets you a lot of mana. He can help you get out some of those really expensive giants. We got our stone back here. Move a counter from this. Keep your stuff indestructible. We got this. We got our Lord. It has flash. She beholds something. Look at the art on this. Everyone, what do y'all think of this art? Like, they covered all their woke bases. I get the old guy in the back, the only guy in the wheelchair. He's old, so he's in a wheelchair, but you're in a universe, Magic the Gathering multiverse, where anything could happen. He's in a fucking wheelchair. Like, there's no magic to make this guy not need a wheelchair. Nothing. There's robots. Like, you can get robot legs. I don't understand. Like, necessary. This just looks like shit, though. All the all the Kithkin here on this art, they look like they have a weird outline around them. And everything about this looks strange. I can't. Terrible. Her in the middle. They got the Sims green instead of the green gem. It's like an upside down version of the Sims gem that the Sims characters have. Oh my god. The guys back here in the back, they don't have legs. You only see half of them. Like, I don't understand that. Like, I feel like this art not real. What has Kev Fong done before? These all look like shit. Looks photoshopped. This looks like maybe AI or photoshopped or something. This is all of his art, and these all look like shit. These all look bad. None of these look good. And he's only got he doesn't have that many cards he's done. Dude looks like an asshole. Look at that. Look terrible. Bad. Oof. Yeah. This looks like garbage. I don't. So it enters. Gives you, so it's a 3 mana enchantment that gives you 2 bodies. Abundant Crossroads, Springleaf Parade, Reaper King No More, the Bitter Bloom Bearer. We'll get there, Bob. I'm going to try to do a color review every night of all the cards in the set. Well, since it comes out on Friday, we're going to 1, 2, 3, 2 more, 2. We'll make it happen. So, how do we feel about the white cards we reviewed? I love Crypt Swap. I'm so glad this is in standard now. 3 mana. Fuck you. Here's a weird little changeling. Hero Eldrazi, gone. Here's a changeling with 1/1 that does nothing. Curious Colossus. I wonder if something's a coward. The cowards can't block. Do they have that? Like that's like a passive ability all cowards have in the game. So I like the idea of this card. I just don't think you're gonna be able to pull it off. It doesn't have Convoke. You find a way to reanimate him, but you're reanimating just to make all your opponent's stuff 1/1s with no ability. Eridu here, you want more from a marquee card like this. This is like one of the lore characters. It's part of the whole Lorwyn's transformation. Underwhelming. I feel like the Persist is better than the Convoke. Convoke, you cast it, that's it. Persist, remove those 1/1 counters. You can just keep popping off. So, I don't know. This guy, I feel like this has a lot of potential. Whenever it becomes tap, so whenever you Convoke, if there's other merfolk that tap stuff, this guy gets back to being a 5/4 pretty quickly. Oh, another giant. Yeah. Poker's Gift. I would recommend hanging on to this. This is a great card, Flock Imposter. Bob's with me on this. Francois, you got to agree. This is a great card, right? This is solid. You want this in your running. If you're gonna do a white build, you got some tribal stuff happening. You want this. You want this face in your D on Friday night. Put this in your D. All right. Trash. Trash. I don't like this. Keep out. Sideboard. It's a game ender. You gotta have a lot of your dudes on the board. Meme art. Pretty good card. This cares about creatures. When a creature you control enters 1/1. This cares about creatures that enter. No, yeah, that by no means is Flock Imposter standard playable. It's draft. It's pre-release. That's it. This Kinscare Sentry is definitely something. All right. This thing sucks. Pass. Good removal. Meanderer's Guide. We like this a lot. This gets you back any creature type. Any creature. Doesn't care about the tribe. Mana value 3 or less. You want that. This guy's a great target for your blight counter. He's got a big butt. He can take it. This is pretty much all trash. I actually have a few of those. I made 60 card singleton decks, paper decks out of like Zendikar Rising and Innistrad. If you want to play on Spells Table sometime and we jam a game like that, it's pretty fun. It's a good way to limit your deck building. Like use your card pool, your own cards, but it's like you're soft locking yourself, and it's actually pretty hard. We've done games like that, me and my friend, and they're almost like commander games. It has to have like a theme, and it's 60 card, and it's singleton. I like this card. Good draw outlet. Got a butt. Morning Tide's Light. This is a game ender. This is going to see standard play. Personify, a counter spell, almost a protection spell. Blink something out. You can attack. You get blocked. You hit it with this. You get your Duke, and you get a creature too. You get the 1/1 changeling. You get targeted with a spell. I think the way Cloud Shift works, like if your opponent hits you with a shock, you're 2/2. Target it with this. Shock falls off, and your creature comes back. Protective response. Pretty good. Morning Tide's Light is not a protection spell. No, this isn't a protection. If I said it's a protection spell, I misspoke. Personify can be a protection spell. This guy here. Morning Tide's Light is this is a game ender. draft, pre-release. One-sided Cyclonic Rift. It's a good way to look at it. This Pyrrhic Strike. The whole blight mechanic is going to be interesting as you're targeting your own stuff. It reminds me of Hour of Devastation and Amonkhet. A lot of those creatures that put 1/1 counters on themselves. It kind of reminds me of that. So if you blight something, kill a creature, and you can artifact or enchantment. This is a sideboard card, if anything. This one's trash. Reese is very good. Good protection card. Something gets targeted, you flash him out, give it persist, it dies, it comes back. In Day of Judgment, if you have 8 mana, yeah, well, that's... we like a lot of these. This is sideboard, maybe. Very one-off card. Again, the only thing, if this thing didn't have flying, I would say throw this thing in the garbage if you get it in your pack. It's not good. Slumbering Walker, you're not going to be able to cast it. It's a good game ender, but you might not get that far. This is a good stopper. It's pacifism, extra boost. The fact that there's only 2 mana, sack it. Exile. You got to blight 1, sack this, exile the thing. He's good if you get the right creatures out. You're going to need a lot of dudes. So this is the card from earlier with that Doran's shield or whatever. 3 mana, potentially deal 5 damage, but it needs that shield. Whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gets X to determine X is the number of Kithkin. You can get that boost herself if you got a bunch of 1/1 Kithkins and you attack. You know, you have 1/1 Kith. You have 2 Kithkins in the table. She attacks. Even gets her own buff. She could attack. She attacks. She's a 1/6. This guy is garbage. Pass on that. When this becomes tapped again, this cares about getting convoked. This is convoke fodder. He's good. Also convoke fodder. Tap target creature an opponent controls. Tap an untapped creature you control. Stuff that cares about getting tapped. This is a good control card. Control the board. And Winnowing. I don't know what else to say. It's removal. Better Day of Judgment. It's tribal Day of Judgment. So that's that. We went through them all. We did a flash review at the end. How are we feeling about white? How do we feel about keeping it white? Was this all white with you? How'd you guys like my review? I'll work on the ads thing. I'm not going to lie. I'm a little greedy with the ads. I try to write as many ads as possible because I honestly want to make that money, but that turns people away. I'm not going to take the short turn thing here. I guess I'll reduce the ads. Anyway, I'm going to get going. I have a day ahead of me tomorrow. Thank you so much for hanging around, everybody. I see quite 72 views, 8 concurrents. What's going on here? Stream ended. Am I still live? All right, YouTube is being weird again. Okay. Most like the Merfolk Trapper seems like the best card. Merfolk Trapper? Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. These aren't great. Pretty much none of this is standard playable. Like 3 cards. But we'll get into blue tomorrow night. Maybe an additional color. Anyway, everyone. Enjoy yourselves. Have a good night. Stay safe. Stay cool. And let's get back at it tomorrow, everyone. Catch you next time. Thanks, everyone. Gotta go. Bob, Nishi, Francois, Student of War, Egoist. Anybody I missed in the chat? I see SDZK. Addy, if you download Arena, let me know if you need any help, any questions. Bob, thanks as always. Always appreciate your wisdom.